Hi, good morning everyone. I hope you're having the start to your day's been a good one. This morning I'm going to show you how to make the twist and pop card. Twist and pop card. So I think it's really cute. It's a little bit fiddly, but I think for the effect that you get, I think it's well worth it. Now, I've used the Christmas Collage Pad for this card, and I'm going to make the same card but using different papers. So I thought just to show you the different effects that you can get. So I've kept the decorating quite simple because for me the fiddliness comes with the card and the effect with the card, but of course you can decorate it as you want to. So I thought I'd just give you a quick flick through the collage pad. So there's 4 sheets of each design. And I think they're quite lovely. So you've got your different sentiments there, backgrounds. So just plain white and black and white backgrounds, which you could then change. So you could add some blending over the top of them. So using different coloured inks, your favourite Christmas colours, whether it be, the traditional red and green, or you might go gold and plum, or gold and blue, blue and silver. So you can zhoosh these papers up. So the black and white papers look lovely just as they are, but that you can also dress them up. So like I said, 4 of each pattern. And for the card today, I've just used 1 sheet of pattern paper per card. So you can see all the lovely papers, lovely colours. And then the last one is the gold. So I think that gold comes up really beautifully. So I'll just put that aside. So this is how the card works. Oops. So it stands up quite nicely, but then when you open it up, you get the twist out value. So I'll just show you again because I think I was a bit off camera for that. So I think that's really quite cool. So again, it might not be the card that you make for everyone, but for those special people, I think it's a lovely Christmas card. But you could also make it as any other card as well. It'd be a lovely special occasions card. You could put photos in each of the panels. So instead of pattern paper here, you could have photos and a little verse. I've left this as a little verse and then somewhere to write, to and love from, kind of on this panel here. But it's up to you as to what you would like to do with your card. So like I did last fortnight, I had the instructions just towards the side so you can see the dimensions there, but I'll also pop them in the comments. So when I post this video, I'll have them up the top there for you. So don't feel you've got to copy them all down, but they are there because I know some people like them immediately. So they're there for you. So I'm going to use this vintage holly paper. So let me just see if I can find it again. No, it must be further back. Of course it's, where did it go? Oh dear. There it is. So this is the pattern paper that I'm going to use for this card. And so I've got this all pre-cut. So as you can see there, the measurements are here. So I've got the base piece, which is 4.5 by 11.5. So this is your card base. And then the inside piece, which is 3 and I've got 3 4/4. Let's try 3 3/4 by 11 inches, and then the mechanism is 3 by 8 inches. And then you've got your front panel, which is 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and then your little inside panels. So I've got 2 of the pattern paper and 2 of just the plain, and they're 2.5 by 3 1/2 inches. So we'll just start with the card base. So it's just a simple fold in half. So just folding that in half, and I'm hoping I've got my trusty bone scorer here. Yep, there it is. So you're just folding that in half. So I thought I'd just get all the mechanisms ready first. Then your inside piece is just a fold in half. And then a fold in half again. So I just tend to bring it, you could do all your measuring, but I tend to find that this works just as well. So just folding in half. And folding in half again. So that you've got your 4 panels. Now just give all of those, so swing them backwards and forwards so you've got a really nice crisp folds, and that they fold easily when they're inserted into the card. Okay, so that you've got that nice movable motion. Then for your little mechanism, this is the part that's most complicated. But what I find is if you fold it in half, now this is textured paper, so it's a little bit stiff. Of course, so what I'm going to do is actually fold texture to texture first, just to break those fibres so it becomes a little bit more pliable. With the oh no, I used textured card for the mechanism on the other card too. On the other card I've used white, so you don't really see the mechanism. So you know, when you open it up, you don't really see the mechanism. You're only just seeing it like there. So you can have what colour you like. I find from a 12 by 12 sheet you can get all 3 pieces plus your so like a little mat. So this little mat for the quote, so I got that from a 12 by 12 sheet. So yeah, so that's quite good. So just now give that a really nice crease down with your bone scorer, and then you're going to fold it in half the other way. So again, probably texture to texture, just to break those fibres. Okay, so you've got your piece in quarters now. Now it's just a matter of marking. So this is the only real measurements you need to do. I don't know about you, but I hate measuring. I always kind of muck it up. But I find this is basically your halfway mark should be at 4, and then you're going to mark at 5 1/2 and at 2 1/2. And then you're going to do the same at the bottom. So just making sure that's all measured up. So just lifting it up a bit so you can put a mark on there. So we've got 5 1/2 and 2 1/2. There. So then what you're doing is you're matching up those marks. So you're matching up this mark to this mark, and then turning it that mark to that mark. So you can draw with pencil, but what I find is if you've got a I forgot what it's called. Dearie me. you've got a scoring board, you can do it. We don't sell them at Kaszazz, but some people do have them. This is an old product that we used to sell, and I find it works really well with scoring. So if you have one of these, then just put your blade away so that you're not you're not tempted to use that. But just placing the 2 marks in the gutter, and then just putting your bone scorer in and drawing it down to the other mark. So that's one way if you've got one of these old paper trimmers. If you don't have an old paper trimmer, you can just use your ruler. So and your bone scorer. So just joining those marks up and then just pressing down firmly. Okay, so that's what it should look like. So you've got that kind of star in the middle. Then you need to give it a nice crisp fold on all those score marks. So the crisper it is, the easier this piece is going to move. So just making sure. So again, for that first fold, do your texture to texture. And then fold back smooth to smooth. Then that will break those stubborn old fibres so that you're getting a nice smooth edge rather than a rough edge. Okay, so now we're sort of folding it this way, folding it that way, you know, just making sure that everything's moving really nicely. And so that's the way you want to have it folded, okay? So you're going to just fold those 2 edges in so that you've got this triangle here, this triangle piece here, and then this triangular piece here. And this is the part that's actually going to be stuck to your card. So now what we need to do is just put our tape on the mechanism. So I have seen people using glue. There's lots of YouTube videos on this. But I just find glue is really messy and takes a while to dry, and I like to get on with things, so I always use tape. So you've got your tape on there, and then you're just turning it over to the other side. I've got to get that off there so you can actually see those. And sorry, I didn't have my phone plugged in this morning, so consequently it's on charge now, so hopefully I won't drop out on you. That would be a pain on the neck if I do. There, okay, so I think that's good enough. Now what we're going to do is stick the mechanism into the card. So what we're needing to do is just measure the middle point. So work out where the middle point is. So this is 4 1/4. So it should be 2 1/8. So you can see here, this is the halfway mark here. And then what we're going to do is put that on so that the point is just a little bit below the scored halfway line. And it's on 2 1/8. So you've got 2 1/4, 2 1/2. So the 1/8 is just in between the 2 and the 2 1/4. Because that's the halfway mark. Okay, so we're going to take the tape off one of the little triangular areas, just if you've got a little bit of tape over the edge, just fold it back on itself, and then we're going to line that up with 2 1/8, just a little bit below that line. Okay, and press down. Then we can just take that out. We're going to take the tape off on the top layer. And then we're going to close the card up. And then now just press that down so it's all stuck down. And then when we open the card, that mechanism should spring out. Okay. And we can close it back up. Now we can work on this part here. So you can decorate this part now, or you can wait until you've inserted it. I think it's probably easier if you decorate it now and then it's all done. So what I've decided to do is, because I wasn't quite happy with I thought there was just, it was a little bit more. Thought this card was just a bit too light for this. So what I'm going to do, so these are the archival inks. And I find they're really good for stamping, but you can also blend with them. I found that these were the colours that were appropriate for the colours that I was using. So the plum, I thought, would give a nice darker effect to this card. Would just darken it up a little bit. So all I'm going to do is just edge around the card. So if you've got plain card that doesn't quite match up with your pattern paper, you can always change it a bit by blending some ink onto it to making it a better contrast. So I'm just going to edge around this, and I'll edge around the base of the card as well. Yes, I just thought it was a little bit wishy-washy. I've got it here. I'm going to just edge around this too. Now, I haven't bothered with the mechanism because you don't really see the mechanism. Now, you could do the back of the card as well, but I'm just going to do the front of the card. And we want to go around the edge of the paper. Now, again, you could distress the edge of the paper if you wanted to. I'm just going to leave it as blended. Okay, and I just get these other pieces sorted. So I've used, the red that I've used on the other card was vermilion. So some of these inks are being deleted by Kaszazz. So if you wanted to get these particular colours, just let me know and I'll try and get them for you before they're deleted. You can just do it on the edge or bring the colour in a little bit. You know, if your pattern papers need a little bit more colour, then you just bring the colour in a little bit. I might as well do these now too. And just a little mat for the sentiment. There we go. So that's done. Then it's just a matter of popping these pieces on the end. So just getting some tape on those. Oh, I'm just going to take my cardie off because it's just gotten hot. So again with your tape, some people like to use scissors, but I find it gums up the scissors, and I hate gummed up scissors. So I just pop it on, aim it to where I want it, and then it comes off my fingernail. Use my fingernail to break it off. That I'm going to mount, so I don't need tape on that. We're just getting all the pieces ready. So I hope all of that made sense to you. Always, if you've got any questions at all, please never hesitate to contact me. I'm very willing to explain things to you if you've got any questions, or just post a question in the comments below. I'd love your feedback. So we're just going to pop, doesn't really matter which way the paper goes, but whichever way you want your paper to go, just have a think about what papers you're using. But I highly recommend this Christmas collage pad. It's great, lots of variety and lots of colour variety too. It's not just that traditional red and green, which I just moved you then. I'm not a big red and green lover. I do like that red and gold though. I think it's nice. But yeah, I do like a little bit something not quite so traditional. So on these two panels, I'm just going to put the little sentiment on one panel. And I quite like this little sentiment. It's quite sweet. Oh, and I've stamped that crooked. Look how crooked that is. Okay, so I must have it crooked on the block. So what I'm going to do is just check it on the block. So how I check it is if you put your block on your grid, and then you can use your grid to make sure that your words are straight. So that stamp, because looking at from behind, you can't actually tell how the letters are going. You might kind of have it going that way. So what I've done is I've stamped it crookedly there. Now what I'm going to do is take the tape off here. So you can just rub the tape off, and then it will pull off quite gently. And this is the disadvantage of having stuck the tape on first before I've stamped. I don't usually do that, but I thought, as I'm taping everything, and this is where you learn from your mistakes, don't you? So you guys can learn from my mistakes. So again, if you're stamping on something, don't put your tape on until you finish stamping, because if you stamp crookedly like I've just done, then you can turn it over. Okay, so let's have another go at that. Now, the stamp is straight on there. So if I line up the bottom of the block with the bottom of the card, I can see that that's equal distance, and therefore the stamping should be straight. Fingers crossed, girls. So there you go. So that's straight on there now, or a little bit more straight than it was before. So now we'll just edge around this again. Now I'm going to use the little holly leaves. and the green ink. So this is library green. So library green is staying in our list of products, but the vermilion and I'm pretty sure the plum are both going. So because there's a white edge here, I'm just going to add the little holly leaves. Not sure if I like the green. And I'm just going to put a little holly leaf here. Just in this bottom corner. So I don't want too much because then it's you're not going to have much room for writing. No, I'm gonna go, and then what I think I'll do is add some purple. So this is just all experimenting. This is a card this colour combination I haven't tried out. Actually, I think that's working. So I'm just adding now, stamping with a little bit of the plum, with the holly leaves as well. And stamping, doing one stamp and then using that again. Okay, yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And then that will be the little one that you can write whatever you would like to write, a little message on. So then just attaching these panels, just leaving it an even border. Leaving an even border there too. Okay, so you've got your 4 panels sorted. Now what we're going to do is work out where to stick the tape. So if we put this now, I'm actually just going to have another fiddle with this mechanism because you can see here it's not opening in right up. So I think what I've done, and this is why, again, it's great to use tape because you can undo it if it's not quite right. So I think what I've done is I've just gone too low. So if you can see here, I need to put this up a bit higher. So I'm just going to take it off again and just start again. Because I want it to be able to open up properly. So again, I'm just going to get my measurement here. Come on, ruler, you can do it. And I'm going to do that 2 1/8. But I'm just going to put it just below. Just over a squidge. And just visually checking it. That looks right. Okay, so press that down. And now let's see. That's better. Okay. That's opening up better. So that's good. So I'm happier with that. So yeah, just making sure you don't want to be right on the line, but you want to be just below that halfway line. Okay. So now what we're doing, like I said, this is just the slightly fiddly part. We're lining up this with this, making sure it's nice and straight. Then we're folding over one panel and just with your pencil, just drawing down there like that. Okay, then we're doing the same on the other side. So just drawing down there like that. Then we can take the panel away for a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do is put tape in this area here and tape in that area there. And these are going to be the parts where it will stick to your actual 4-panel piece. Again, here is where you could use glue, but again, I love using tape because like you saw before, if you make a mistake, you can undo it. You can have another go at it. Because like I said, this card is a little bit fiddly and you don't want to just throw it in the bin if it doesn't quite work out. You want to be able to adjust it. So now it's a matter of just taking the tape off. Just now what we're going to do is match up the fold and make sure it's halfway. So that's right. Now we can just press down on here and then that should fall into place there. So then when we close it up, it should just fold into position. So it's all folded down and then it'll just open out. And making sure that which is the front and which is the back. So you can see there, right, that reads right way up. So this panel up here, this panel here is the front. Okay, so then just closing it down. And the more you open and close it, so I just open and close it a few times before you give it away, so that then it will open up nicely and smoothly for the person that you're giving it to. So then it's just the front panel. So just going to pop that front panel on. We'll pop that on. Yeah. And then we just put our little Merry Christmas stamp on here. So I'm just doing that with black. And then again, we're just going to add some little holly leaves. So we'll just go the green first. And then we'll add some of the maroon. So just stamp that off a little bit to get rid of the green colour. And then we'll add the maroon, or the plum. There we go. And then that's just going to get stuck onto the little mat. And then just a few little pieces of mounting tape. Again, with the mounting tape, I tend to put it in from the edge, not on the very edge, because you don't want to be able to see that mounting tape. And 5 pieces should be enough. There we go. So maybe just off to the edge a little bit. Not everything has to be centered. And then, so that's the little card. You could zhuzh it up with a little bit of icicles on the leaves, like I've done to the little bottle brush there. I don't know if you can see the icicles. Yeah, just there you can see them. Yeah, to zhuzh it up a little bit. But I'm quite happy with the way that's turned out. So you can see 2 different cards, well, two of the same cards made from the collage pad. Oops. Yep. So again, I think that's a pretty cool card. So have fun with those, and like I said, any questions at all, please give me a ring or email me or post in the comments, whatever you would like to do. Okay, best of luck, and like I said, I'll pop those measurements in the top once I post this video. Okay, take care everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and with everybody coming out of lockdown soon, please just be aware, you know, keep yourself safe, okay, and keep creating. Bye.